He brought me roses for Valentine's Day, but he hadn't touched me in weeks. In public, I was his world, and in private, I was invisible. And this is when I realized something was really wrong. In fact, something was broken. Hi, my name is Minister Faith, and I come to you from His Story Through Me. I have been reading my memoir. I am going to continue reading The Aftermath. Looking back, I remember the airport, how strange and cold their interaction had been. There had been something brittle in the air between them. At the time, I brushed it off as travel stress, but now I saw it for what it was, something deeper, something broken. That's Jasper and his mother. The rest of the drive back to the farm was silent. Jasper's mood didn't shift. His words hung in the car like thick smoke, and I just kept my eyes on the trees through the window of the car, praying for peace in a moment that was anything but peaceful. When we arrived, we unpacked quietly. Then he said we needed to go to the store. I pushed everything aside. I hoped the change of scenery, the simple act of being alone together at the farm, might open a door for us to reconnect. I still had hope. I always seemed to have hope. Earlier that month, before the girls came to visit, we had finally been intimate. And for the first time in our entire relationship, I felt something shift, something real. I told him afterwards, I underestimated you. I meant it. I thought it was the beginning of us finally becoming us. But nothing followed. No affection, no closeness, nothing. Since that night, he hadn't touched me. He went to bed early every night, slipping beneath the covers before I finished my evening shower. There was no TV on the farm to hide behind, but he still managed to pretend he was asleep. And every time I joined him, I'd find him curled on the edge of the bed, body angled away from mine, like even accidental contact will cost him something. I didn't know what to do. So I fasted, I prayed, I begged God for guidance, for clarity, for help. After weeks of sharing space with a man who treated me like I was invisible, I couldn't take it anymore. I gathered my things and moved into the second bedroom. I thought it might shake him. It didn't. He never acknowledged that I had left, not once. I stayed in that other room for a week, praying he would miss me, notice me, see me. He didn't. Eventually, I talked myself into returning. I told myself it was the godly thing to do, the marital thing to do. But the moment I laid back down in that bed beside him, I felt like filth beneath his heel, something to avoid, something too low to be acknowledged. Jasper made me feel like the ugliest woman alive. The only time he reached for me, the only time he made me feel like I matter, was when we were around other people. At business dinners, at Bobby's restaurant, in public, he became the attentive husband, charming and affectionate. His hand would rest on mine. He'd laugh with me, touch my back lightly, look at me like I was his world. But in private, I didn't exist. I began to wonder which version of him was real. The Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. I held on to that truth. Even when I felt unseen in my marriage, I knew my God had not turned his face from me. Valentine's Day. I was sleeping in the other room again. The bed Jasper and I had once shared had become a battlefield marked by pillars, a quiet symbol of division. He had started placing one down the center of the mattress again, an invisible wall to ensure our bodies never met, no matter how close we slept. He never touched me. It didn't matter how lovely I thought I looked or how soft I spoke. Nothing drew him near. I had spent over 30 years being cherished, held, and wanted. James touched me every day, casually, affectionately, reverently. That was the language we spoke. Love in motion, tenderness in every ordinary gesture. With Jasper, silence spoke louder than words, and it said, "You are not enough." So when I came in and saw him standing there holding a bouquet of red roses, a card, and a heart-shaped box of chocolate, I froze. The moment felt staged, performed. He handed the gifts to me, said, "Happy Valentine's Day," and I simply took them. My heart didn't flutter, my stomach didn't flip. Instead, my mind searched for a motive. Was somebody coming? Were the partners visiting? Maybe he wanted the gift visible so that they could see what kind of husband he was pretending to be. I took everything into the room where I'd been staying, the room that had become my refuge. I hid the flowers, the chocolate, and the card. I didn't want them on display, not because I wasn't grateful, but because I didn't know if they were meant for me or the show. When I returned to the kitchen, 2 small jewelry boxes sat on the counter like unopened questions. One was soft gray, the other a delicate pink. I quietly picked them up and took them with me. I opened them in private. Inside were beautiful gold leaf earrings and matching necklace. They shimmered in the light like they belonged to a different story, one I hadn't been living. The gifts were lovely, but they didn't answer the ache. I wrapped myself in a blanket and went outside to the swing. The Florida sun was kind that day, and the breeze felt like balm. I made myself small so I wouldn't be in the way when Jasper met with his partners. I listened from a distance, hearing him laugh, watching his gestures as he painted a picture of a happy, love-filled marriage. He wanted them to believe we were thriving, nestled in a cottage, hearts entwined. One of the partners walked past and smiled warmly. "Is Jasper taking you out to dinner tonight?" "That's the plan," I replied, matching his smile. It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't quite the truth either. Later, I went inside and asked Jasper if my outfit was okay for dinner. He glanced at me, gave me a neutral nod, and said it was fine for where we were going. That was it. No warmth, no admiration, just permission to be present. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Romans 12:9. I held on to this verse like a lifeline. I didn't want a performance. I wanted love that was real, sincere, God-centered. I didn't know what the night would bring, but I knew God saw me, and that was real. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, you are God who sees beyond appearance and looked at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. Lord, for every person listening who feels unseen, unloved, or forgotten in their relationship, I ask that you remind them that they are never invisible to you. Your word says love must be sincere. Romans 12:9. And so we ask for you to reveal truth where there has been confusion, and light, dear God, where there has been darkness. Father, heal the places where rejection has taken root. Restore dignity where it has been stripped away, and give clarity where there has been emotional silence. Your word declares that you are close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in the spirit. Psalms 34:18. Be near now, Lord. Comfort. In Jesus' precious name, I do pray. To God be the glory. I dare you to trust God.